Hello there and welcome back. Welcome me back. I about died there for a second. It wasn't too bad, but the fact that I was taking care of all of my kids and all of my sister's kids, and most of us were sick with the stomach bug, that was no fun whatsoever. But seriously, thank God for my mother-in-law. She literally saved us. She would take a couple kids at a time and let me rest a bit. Seriously, I don't know how people do it without family. She is literally the best. But we are all feeling better now and we just got back to Omaha. So before everybody got sick, I did make it out to the thrift stores a few more times. I went over to the city of Ozark and they had some really good thrift stores. So I thought I would show you guys a little bit of what I found. I do have some comments on the thrifting in Springfield, at least from my point of view. I think that there are so many amazing antiques shops around the Ozarks that I really feel like their thrift stores get picked over easily. There was a nonprofit thrift store in Ozark that was really good, but man, there was a thrift store called like Red Roof Thrift Store or something in Springfield, and it was nuts. The prices were crazy. For kids' shoes, it was like $12 a pair, and everything else kind of reflected those same types of prices. And so I don't know what the background is behind that thrift store, but I would just say in general, their prices were definitely higher than they are in Omaha. So I'm glad to be back here. But yeah, they've got some like mom and pop ones. I actually got one day while I was down there that I was able to just kind of like hit these all up at once. So let me take y'all along with me and show you the thrifting in Ozark, Missouri. Really liked the floral pattern of this wallpaper, but I didn't like that I had this weird kind of like shimmer line texture to it. I actually almost bought these pajamas, but for some reason I held off just because they were $5, and in my mind that just seemed like too much at the time. I couldn't tell what these pictures were made out of. They looked really pretty, but I wound up just leaving them because I didn't have any use for them. This store had such great prices. I really enjoyed what they had in the store too. I just wish I had more of a need for it, but they were still beautiful to look at. I think this chair was like $10. The table was like $12 or something. It was seriously so cheap, ridiculously awesome. This little blanket was so sweet, and the changing table that it was on was precious. I love that they had all of these brass pieces together. Over here is actually where I found the salt and pepper shaker that I'll show you later, but I forgot to get some video of it. Yep, I was obsessed with this quilt. I literally thought about it for like days after I left. I loved this globe. I almost wish I would have gotten it, but it was just a little bit pricey for me. actually thought this set was really cool, but again, I just don't have any use for it. I actually thought this razor was really cool. It's from the 80s and it was super heavy and just really, really nice. But it was like $9. Found these little ironstone dishes, but to be honest, I just left them because I need to sort through the vintage ironstone that I currently have. All right, I'm not gonna lie. One of the thrift stores that I showed you was actually an antique store, or like, you know, it's like a flea market, I guess, but it was where like they had multiple booths. I got in trouble. There was literally one booth in there that had like everything in the world that I wanted. I only grabbed a couple things, but I literally could have grabbed everything, especially that like globe hanging pendant light that was there. I thought that was so cool. And I actually thought about replacing our own hanging pendant light with it, but I just didn't know how I felt about like traveling with it and all of our suitcases and all of the kids in the car. And to be honest, I already was spending so much at this antique store that I don't think I could justify buying another $60 item. So I passed on that, but I still think about it. Okay, so I made some mistakes when I was shopping in the Ozarks. I think sometimes I struggle with being stingy. I know that you guys are thinking, well, that's like what you do. You know, you are about thrift stores and getting things for super cheap. But I think that sometimes I almost dig my own grave because I expect too much for too little. Sometimes I think it's justified, but other times it can just be silly. Like there was this one sweatshirt that was in one of the stores and it was either $5 for one item of clothing or you could fill an entire bag for $5. It just seemed ridiculous to me because everything else in the store was so cheap. Like, you know, I would think that a sweatshirt would be like $2 or $3, but the woman said it was $5 and I got frustrated because I was like, I don't need a bag of clothes. I just want this one item. I decided to pass on it just to like prove a point, you know, which was just ridiculous. I should have just paid the $5 for the shirt. But then I went home and thought about it and wound up going back the next day and it was gone. So that's a lesson in thrifting. If you really like it, don't try to prove a point. I have to remind myself, if this was at Target for $5, would I have bought it? And the answer is I would have jumped at it. It was like a vintage sweatshirt that was like a Harbor beige. It was just so cool. I actually had that experience a couple times where I wouldn't get something and I would think about it and then I would wind up going back for a few things. There was a Revere ware pan that was there and I'm thinking about replacing our pans with some stainless steel and I wish I would have picked that up too. It was $3. It really wasn't bad. I think I just get so cheap sometimes. And I think part of it is that I also don't want to just like bring in all this stuff if I'm not going to be using it or selling it, you know? And so if I was going to get some Revere ware, I almost want like a set and not necessarily piece by piece, but I don't know why I can't collect it piece by piece. I'm just being difficult, okay? Anyway, let me show you what I did find. I'll start with what I did find at that flea market because the finds were so good. The first thing I found was like this leather utility bag, or no, not utility bag, but like a toiletry bag. So it buckles here. Everything that I got at the store, I passed on almost all of it and I wound up going back the next day to get it. I swear I did this with 3 thrift stores when I was in Springfield. I was off the charts ridiculous. So what you do is like you just take this hook that's on there, hook it onto some kind of towel rack, and then it folds down like this and you can put your toiletries and whatnot in it. So I've seen people who have these in the past, and when I saw it was $25, I was like, oh, that's like way more than I'm used to spending at a thrift store. Again, I thought about if I were to see this at Target and it was like a real leather vintage toiletry bag, like of course I would get it. And so I actually surprised Josh with it when I got home. I thought that he would really like it. The second leather bag that I found at the store was this pretty Dooney & Bourke bag. I love vintage Dooney & Bourke. That is like my all-time favorite purse. It's honestly the only purses that I have. And it's kind of silly. I have like a million different versions of the same purse, but I love it. And this one was only $21. So I feel like whenever I find these online, they're generally like in the $40 to $50 range. And so I have some others that are like kind of similar to it. They're not quite as big, but I figured that I could just sell one of those because they're a little bit slimmer, and then maybe use this one. I feel like this one is a great size for like storing diapers and wipes. And really that's the only thing that I carry around with me these days. I know I had a quilt in the last video, but this is like my dream quilt. So I literally like dreamed about this after I left because I saw it. I think it was $69, which is a lot, right? You know, like I'm used to spending like $7 on a quilt. And at my last video, because it was at Goodwill Outlet, like Lord knows, I probably only just spent a couple dollars on that quilt. But I will say that I have been looking for a vintage blue and white quilt for years now. I have always imagined myself with like one of those, I don't know what you call it, like a star patchwork kind of quilts. And I would love to find one of those in the future. I think I showed it a little bit better on the footage, but it has this pattern on it. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. These quilts will go for anywhere from like $100 to $150 generally, especially one like this that's in this good condition. And so I really had to kind of factor that in and realize that $69 is not that bad of a deal for a real vintage quilt that's exactly the colors that I like and in a style that I find to be very beautiful. So those were my expensive purchases from this trip. Okay, speaking of blankets and whatnot, y'all, let's be honest. We gotta buy boring things at the thrift store too. So something I've been looking for is sheets for our new beds that we're gonna be having. We're going to be having a couple of full-size beds, and so I need like a full-size sheet, but I really want the 100% cotton sheets and not the like polyester ones that you find. Is that what it is? There's this type of sheet that you can buy at like Target or Walmart, and they drive me absolutely crazy. They're super soft on one side, and then on the other side of the sheets, it's like they snag every single hangnail you've ever had in your life. Like they literally drive me nuts. I found this set, and I think the whole thing was, I don't know, let me look. The fitted sheet, flat sheet, and the 2 pillowcases were $4. So I did not think that that was a bad price to be able to outfit an entire bed with this. So not pulling this out for you. All right, and while I was at the charity shop, I did find these 2 vintage pillowcases. So I thought that these are just really pretty. I love collecting vintage pillowcases, especially if I can find 2 that matched. And so I just thought that these are beautiful, and these were $1 a piece. Oh, I take it back, they're $2 a piece, but still, I mean, not bad at all. And they've got that super nice cotton texture. It's unlike cotton stuff now where it's a little bit more visible to see like the weave going in and out. Very soft, and they even, this is gonna sound kind of weird, but they even kind of have like that vintage smell to them, which I don't mind at all. I remember going on vacations and stuff. It's funny because I never noticed that our home had a smell, but if we had gone on vacations and come back, we would open the door to our house, like it just smelled like old wood. Like, oh, I just loved it so much. Like I literally would walk in, I'd be like, oh, I cannot believe that I get to live in a house that like smells like an old house like this. Does anybody else know what I'm talking about? Some of you are probably so grossed out by that. It's not gross, it just smells like old. All right, while I was at that flea market, I forgot to mention that, but I did find this little bayberry candle. It's like pretty much empty, but I didn't buy the candle for the candle. I got it for the little crock that it came in. So I figured maybe I could put some Q-tips in this or whatnot in one of our bathrooms at the new house. I got this for $1, but it was on sale for 50% off. So got it for 50 cents. You guys, Rosie found this little doll. Okay, so I know the dolls are a little bit creepy, right? But she was very excited when she found her. And when I saw that she had 1 foot, I asked Rosie if she was sure that she wanted her. And she thought about it for a second. And she said, you know what, Mom, even dolls with 1 foot need little girls to love them. And so I'm gonna love her just as much as I would love her if she had both feet. And I thought that that was so sweet. She's carried her around everywhere, and we named her Isabel. All right, while I was at that Red Roof thrift store or whatever, this is really the only thing that I found. I found this pretty little candle holder. Little candle holder. It's pretty, it's brass. This was $3. And honestly, it was the only thing that I could find at that thrift store that I thought was at all worth it. It does have this green pattern on it with some like flowers and birds. I was hoping to find one that was just only brass, but I figure I can get used to it. And maybe if I find one that's all brass, I'll end up switching them out. But yeah, it's kind of pretty. I feel like you can't see it very well on camera though. Sorry. Okay, my husband and I broke our salt and pepper shakers like years ago. I did wind up finding these. These are the Pfaltzgraff Heritage salt and pepper shakers. And these are another item that I wound up going back for. The first time I didn't get them was because I thought that they were too big. Like, you can see that they're pretty large. These were $1 a piece. And I didn't even know that. When I went back, I thought they were gonna be like $3 or $4 a piece. But the fact that they were just $2 for both was excellent. So I'm happy to finally have something to shake our salt out of. Y'all, I got some hopes. I have been wanting gold hoops for the longest time. I don't know how good of quality these are. They were just $3 at that same charity thrift shop. I don't know, we'll see. I figured that $3 is not a bad price for a pair of earrings, and we'll see. If they get all tarnished, then they get all tarnished, but I've been wanting something like this for a really long time, so maybe I'll wear them in the next video. I did find some more wallpaper. Again, just like the other one that I found a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure how much is in here or even how much it would cover. It doesn't say anything about it. I guess I don't know, what do you do? Just like roll it all out? It is this ticking stripe pattern, which I really like. I'm not sure where I'd put it. I can't tell. Do you guys like this one better or the blue one that I showed a couple weeks ago? I was thinking about possibly like lining our drawers with this. But yeah, we'll see. I just thought it was really pretty and it was only $1. And last, I did find 2 little dresses. This is like 24 months. I found this cute little Carter's dress. It's just kind of cute. It's like that sweet little pinstripe with a little bit of eyelets at the bottom. This was $1.89, so really not bad for a little girl's dress. Second, this one was a little bit more expensive. This one was $3, but it was just this super simple white dress. And you guys, I know that she's probably just gonna get it dirty anyway, but it's just like 100% cotton and super simple. I love a simple little white dress on my girls, and so I'm always looking out for them. All right, y'all, well, that wraps up our Ozarks experience. Thank you for everybody who prayed for us. We really are feeling so much better now. For those of you who would like a quick update on the house, we are going to get our keys on Saturday. I am going to get an initial walkthrough video going for you guys. I'm not sure how long it'll take to get that filmed and edited and everything. I am going to be making some videos here ahead of time because I know that it's gonna be crazy unpacking and I'm not gonna have any time to film or edit or shop or anything like that. I've got plenty of stuff ready for you guys on the docket. So I'm gonna get that video filmed and up as soon as possible so that you guys can see the new house. So keep an eye out for that. Also, I wanted to mention that I have had a few companies reach out and ask to work with me, like do collaborations and stuff. Y'all know that I love doing YouTube, but YouTube does not pay very well. And so I just wanted to be upfront with y'all that I am going to be taking a few sponsors for my videos. Bear with me here as I show you some products that I'm testing out. I honestly don't accept anything from any company that I would not personally reach out and use. All of the products that I'm going to be using or looking at are all things that I would use in my everyday life and not just taking whatever comes my way. So those may be coming. I'm excited to try out some new stuff too. And a lot of it is like home stuff. And so I'm really grateful because it will help us not only financially, we'll be able to put things in our home that we otherwise would have to be spending a lot of money on. I'm excited to show you the things that I pick out and how we integrate them into our new home. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. If you are from the Ozark area, give me a shout out, let me know below. If you guys enjoyed this video or if you're new here, please hit that like and subscribe button. That makes a huge difference and really helps me. You guys, next time I'm making a video, I'm going to have the keys to our house, which I'm so excited about. We won't be able to move into our house for a couple weeks after because we're getting some like floors and walls and stuff done. But as soon as I'm in, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm so excited. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.